Vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, a soft spot that leaves us exposed to potential harm. Yet, in truth, embracing vulnerability is one of the most powerful acts we can undertake in our journey of spiritual and emotional growth. Vulnerability is not about exposing ourselves to danger. Rather, it is about embracing our authentic selves with all our imperfections, fears, and dreams. It is through vulnerability that we find the courage to be fully human, to connect deeply with others, and to grow into our truest selves. At the core of vulnerability is the willingness to be seen as we truly are, without the masks and defenses we often hide behind. It means showing up in our relationships with openness and honesty, even when it feels uncomfortable. This can be especially challenging in a world that often values strength, control, and perfection. However, by embracing vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be real, and in doing so, we invite others to do the same. This authenticity fosters deeper, more meaningful connections, where trust and love can truly flourish. Vulnerability also requires us to acknowledge and express our emotions. We live in a culture that often encourages us to suppress or hide our feelings, especially those that are seen as negative, such as fear, sadness, or shame. However, these emotions are an essential part of our human experience. By allowing ourselves to feel and express them, we not only honor our own truth, but also open the door to healing and transformation. Vulnerability teaches us that it is okay to cry, to ask for help, and to admit when we are struggling. One of the greatest gifts of vulnerability is the freedom it brings. When we stop trying to maintain a facade of perfection, we release the heavy burden of pretense. We no longer have to expend energy on keeping up appearances or worrying about what others think. Instead, we can redirect that energy towards living authentically and fully. This freedom is liberating, as it allows us to be at peace with who we are, flaws and all. Embracing vulnerability also strengthens our resilience. It might seem counterintuitive, but when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we actually become more resilient. This is because vulnerability helps us develop emotional flexibility and adaptability. We learn that we can survive and even thrive despite our fears, mistakes, and setbacks. By facing our vulnerabilities head-on, we build inner strength and a deeper trust in our ability to navigate life's challenges. Another key aspect of vulnerability is its role in creativity and innovation. When we embrace vulnerability, we open ourselves up to new ideas and possibilities. Creativity thrives in an environment of openness, where there is room for experimentation, failure, and learning. By being willing to take risks and make mistakes, we allow our creative spirit to flourish. Whether it's in art, work, or personal endeavors, vulnerability is the gateway to true originality and innovation. Vulnerability also deepens our spiritual practice. When we approach our spirituality with vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be humble and open to the mysteries of life. We admit that we don't have all the answers and that we are on a journey of continuous growth and discovery. This openness invites deeper insights, greater compassion, and a closer connection to the divine. Vulnerability in this sense is a sacred act of surrender, trusting that we are held and guided by a higher power. It's important to remember that vulnerability is not about oversharing or exposing ourselves indiscriminately. It is about discernment and understanding when and with whom it is safe to be vulnerable. Healthy vulnerability involves setting boundaries and being selective about who we allow into our inner world. It is about creating safe spaces where we can be our authentic selves without fear of judgment or rejection. As we embrace vulnerability, we not only transform ourselves but also inspire others to do the same. When we show up authentically, we create a ripple effect that encourages others to lower their defenses and connect on a deeper level. Vulnerability, therefore, becomes a powerful force for healing and unity in our relationships and communities. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. I love you deeply, for in truth, we are old friends. We are one. If you found value in this video, please subscribe, like, and share to help spread the message and the healing power of having conversations of consequence.